Yo, what's up guys, it's OGXRAYZ. Welcome to finally the start of my Exo Zombie storyline series. Just the way that I did it with Call of Duty Zombies back in Black Ops 2, I'm going to do the same thing for every map pack that comes out for Exo Zombies, starting off with Outbreak, along with the teaser bonus that we got, round 10 of Riot Survival. So we're going to talk through the story, what's happened, all the little loose ends, little things that maybe you didn't even think about, and kind of go through the full-fledged storyline of Exo Zombies. Let's go ahead and jump straight into it. As always, if you do enjoy this series, guys, make sure to leave a like and a favorite on these videos. It does get the content out there, helps the channel grow a ton, guys. So just as we did last time, let's go ahead and shoot for 800 likes on this first episode, guys. We're going to follow along. We're only going to get 3 more parts of this story, and hopefully Exo Zombies does come out in Advanced Warfare 2 or whatever version of Sledgehammer Games' next game is going to be. So hopefully they do bring it back, but this is the way it's going to start. We're going to go ahead and jump straight into the story, guys. If you're new, make sure to subscribe so you guys don't miss any parts of this story as it does come out. But let's jump straight into the story, and the big thing that I want to start off by saying is the story doesn't really start on the map Outbreak. A lot of people seem to think that's the story, you know, basically where this whole map gets overrun, that's how it starts, and really that's not the way that the story starts. It actually starts off with that special bonus round that we get in Exo Survival. So for you guys that don't know, you would get all the way up to Riot, which at round 10 of that, a DNA bomb or a Manticore bomb would be dropped, attempting to kind of kill everyone, end the little story there, but it ends up turning everyone into zombies. That's the whole story so far, but we'll jump into that in a little bit. I want to explain really quickly what Manticore is, and basically it's a nuclear bomb that's a little bit different. You know, the way that it would work is the nuclear bomb would be dropped and everything would be killed. You know, all of the people, even if it was comrades, even if it was friendlies, everyone would die. But with Manticore drops, or these Manticore bombs, or DNA bombs for short, these bombs would actually drop down and only affect a certain amount of people. So for instance, the Atlas employees who have a certain tag or a certain ID to them, they would not be affected by the bomb, everyone else would. Now the actual start to this story is over on the map Riot. The way that it starts is that the inmates at this prison, and you know, when it starts off as a riot. So Atlas sends in these 4 soldiers into the location to try to contain the riot, at which point this riot actually turns into a full-on war. So these guys are having trouble with it. These 4 guys, you're just being swarmed by all of these inmates, at which point Atlas decides to drop this Manticore bomb, or the DNA bomb, in order to end the whole thing. This is a quote where you get from Oz, who says that they tried to end the war with the Manticore. So they drop down the bomb, and instead of it actually ending it, killing everyone besides their Atlas Corporation members, who again we mentioned already that they're immune to it because of the way that this Manticore is developed, when it drops down it actually ends up killing them, and then not only that, but actually bringing them back to life. The Manticore also has a side effect of reanimating bodies, very similar to 115. After they drop this down, after all these inmates start turning into zombies, the deceased rioters start to reanimate into mindless creatures and start to attack the soldiers. At which point, the person who we all saw in the cutscene is actually called Gideon. Gideon arrives in a warbird to try to rescue the stranded soldiers. However, as we all know from the cutscene, once the warbird goes in, it actually gets overrun by zombies, at which point Gideon is presumably killed by the horde when he's dragged down back into the prison. So following the outbreak at the prison, the Atlas Corporation actually decides to send in 3 platoons in order to try to contain this newly developed infected or zombie. So at this point, they did not know that the Manticore actually reanimated dead bodies, so they see this firsthand. They turn into zombies. You know, they took down this warbird, and they send in these 3 platoons to try to contain the infected. 2 of them actually are able to be returned in body bags, unbeknownst to the employees. You know, none of the other employees had knowledge of what was going on. Oz didn't know about it, Lilith didn't know about it, all the smaller people on the totem pole didn't know about it. Only the people higher up knew about these 2 that were brought in body bags for further testing. So they're taken in secret to the Atlas Research Lab. They're studied upon, at which point these zombies are hidden away in the secret sub-level 6 of the facility. And we learn more about this from Oz and the characters, especially from Lilith, who says that there's an outbreak in sub-level 6 which nobody knew existed. However, presumably due to a power outage, the zombies that were contained actually end up escaping, and a massive outbreak starts to ravage the facility before anyone even knew what was happening. Again, this was was a sub-level, you know, somewhere that no one even knew existed. There was an outbreak, which we'll see in the initial cutscene from the Exo Zombie Outbreak map, where we see those two pods that are kind of melted away and opened up. Those were the two that actually were brought in body bags. They break out and they start to infect all the other people. By the time they realize it, it's already too late and everyone has started getting infected and contaminated. The only 4 Atlas employees that were actually able to survive and make it outside were Oz the janitor, Lilith the IT specialist, Decker the security guard, and Khan the executive, as we already learned from the cutscene, and they're the only ones who remain. Now, the first person to actually witness this outbreak was actually Oz, because he was the only one who actually had access to sub-level 6 since he was a janitor. He was down there cleaning up, and he's the one who actually spotted these 2 test tubes or containments that they had these 2 infected zombies in. So he witnesses the initial outbreak and was able to escape to safety early on. After an emergency signal is sent out through the facility, Lilith is next to learn about from the outbreak because of this emergency signal. So Lilith learns about the outbreak while watching the security monitors. Khan instantly realizes what happened because he was notified of the emergency, and then finally he is joined by Decker, who has managed to outrun the horde. So the 4 survivors after this point are 4 protagonists. They expect to be rescued by Atlas. They think they're going to survive, especially with the fact that Khan is a bigwig. He's an executive. He's the one that they expect. Well, they're obviously not going to let him die. So anyways, all 4 of them are able to survive, at which point we see the opening kind of cutscene where we actually start trying to survive in the gameplay, where all 4 of them are on this roof, and you hear Oz say that he hates the Atlas Corporation. So they're waiting there. A warbird is supposed to come in and try to save them, at which point the same thing that happened on Riot, the map, actually happens here, where the warbird is swarmed by zombies and it crashes right before their eyes. So the 4 untrained survivors, or 4 protagonists, are left to fend for themselves, trapped in the facility, and are forced to fight their way out. So after deciding that the Atlas Corporation isn't going to send anyone to help them, although if we do pay attention, it curiously does seem like they are silently watching them, since they are sending them these orbital care packages and these drops. So they are watching them, but they're not directly sending in, you know, any more soldiers. They're not sending in any more warbirds, any sort of help. So they're just kind of on the sideline observing them, at which point they realize that they're not going to get any other help. Decide that they're going to attempt to send their own rescue signal, which is the massive Easter egg, game over, man. So at this point, they're like, no one's going to send in help. We got to send out our signal ourselves to see if anyone will try to help us, at which point they do the entire Easter egg. And while attempting to gain clearance to surpass the security system, which is given through all the instructions by the, you know, the voiceover, the computer, whose name is Angie. So she's the one who's kind of giving them instructions. You got to upgrade your key cards to get a higher clearance, to do this, do that. It becomes increasingly apparent to them that someone has set them up and is just testing them to see if they can escape, which, if you guys saw my video a little while ago where I said what happens to the crew, we see right at the end that they give us these little audio clips where they say, you know, they were just a test, they survived longer than we thought. So obviously it becomes clear to them that they're not just there in some outbreak, but it's some test that someone, who knows who, someone within Atlas, maybe someone who's on their own, a third party, is attempting to do some kind of weird, messed up test on them. When the security is finally bypassed, the Easter egg is completed. A pre-recorded voice message tells our 4 survivors that they have passed stage 1 and have 24 hours to reach the rendezvous point, which is stage 2. At which point a rescue signal is sent out and a new warbird is called in. This is the end of the Easter egg, where we see the warbird come in, only to find out that this warbird gets shot down as it's approaching the facility by a missile, leaving the 4 survivors stranded once again, which at this point it's just them trying to survive because there's nothing else that's going to happen. They've already sent the signal, the warbird is there, and that is pretty much where we are left off with our story. So our 4 protagonists, they have to continue to survive or they die. Something happens, at which point it's kind of alluded to the fact that they all die because of these final audio cutscenes. But that is the story so far, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching part 1 of this Exo Zombie storyline. Wanted to go through the full details. Most people don't know the full thing. If you guys want to learn more about the story or you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I'll try to answer as many as I can. But thank you guys so much for watching the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and a favorite on the video. It gets the content out there, helps the channel grow, and it is very much appreciated, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Let's try to get to 800 likes again. That would be absolutely insane if we could hit that, maybe even more than that. just like we did with the regular Call of Duty Zombies storyline. And as always, if you guys are new and if you enjoyed this video, guys, and you enjoy Advanced Warfare Exo Zombies, you want to follow along with this storyline, then make sure to subscribe so you guys don't miss any future episodes or any future parts to this story. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. I'm Extras. I'm out. Peace.